Welcome to Liberty Today. On today's program, Ed and Tonchi ask the burning question, can you trust a newspaper? We'll hear from persecuted patriot Dr. Ed Picardi about his recent trial. And meet the fabled Lion King, who talks about the overpopulation of mountain lions in South Dakota. All this and much more on today's Liberty Today.
It's always a pleasure when Senator Stan Adelstein pays us a visit, and we're fortunate today, Senator, that you had the time and the willingness to sit in front of our camera and have some conversation.
I enjoy it, Gordon, because you're a challenging thinker and a very good person.
Well, some people would say I'm challenging and maybe leave it there, but something that's challenging to our nation, Senator, is this whole idea of Islamic violence. And it's no secret that you are a devout Jewish man. And I'd be interested, as I think our listeners would, about your perspective on the religion of Islam, how that kind of plays in the world situation.
You know, it's interesting when you should say that, because Judaism and Christianity both came, and Islam all came out, they call them Abrahamic religions.
Yes.
They all saw Father Abraham. But what has happened with both Christianity and Judaism, there have been major changes in how they see the real world today, mostly. Now, there are extremes in every one of those faiths. There are Jewish people who live in a part of Jerusalem called Mea Shearim, and they say Israel doesn't exist. It can't exist until the Mashiach or the Messiah comes, in your case, the second time, the first time. So there are those sorts of extremes. There are individuals in Christianity that said that anyone who does not accept Jesus as their individual Savior are completely condemned to go to hell. And there are Jews who say, well, now if I keep all the detailed rules in the Bible, it makes no difference how I behave. I'm thinking about the people that did these damages to individuals with investments.
Yes.
But the majority of all of Christianity and Judaism have changed so they recognize how human beings need to live together. Islamic violence, which I really think is probably a minority, but even if it's 15 or 20% of tens of millions of people who frighten others who would change, it's a terrible thing. And the divisions, I mean, we have divisions in Judaism, and except for the extreme Orthodox, I can deal and they'll accept me. Some of them won't. Except for the extremes in Christianity, and I know some that that don't want to wear the uniform and the things that you and I both believe in.
Well, Senator, the striking difference to me, when you compare Judaism and Christianity with Islam, is that we believe in a peaceful coexistence with those who disagree with us, and Islam says that you lob their heads off if they won't convert.
Well, of course, that was true of Christianity 600 years ago.
Which makes your point that there have been some changes.
That we've come to respect human beings, and we know more about human beings.
Yes.
But and even how you treat people who misbehave. We don't stone people to death anymore. We don't cut off their hands because they steal. Yeah. Many of us, and there are different views in both Christianity and Judaism on a life to come. I can't imagine you or me asking one of our children to strap bombs to their body because they're going to go directly to some special place. I think about it, my wife, who came from Europe, survived Nazism. When her son chose to go to West Point, she wasn't totally comfortable with the concept he was going to put his life on the line, which he did for 27 years. But she respected him for it. But she knew that's what mothers do. But can you imagine a mother
Cinching up the belt?
Put a belt? I mean, she wouldn't say, you get to West Point, and boy, what you do is you figure out how to get yourself killed in the first battle. He was a special forces officer jumping all over the world. You just, I can't imagine it.
That's a pretty significant difference. Senator, we're about out of time for this discussion, but let me ask you one final question. How do you think, or I should say, do you think it's possible to peacefully coexist with the Islamic nations who want to annihilate Israel?
Those that take that extreme position, it's impossible. Now, I say that having traveled in the West Bank with the first Jewish commander in 1967 after the Six-Day War, and who had a wonderful relation. His family had come from a relationship with the people that he was governing, and he only looked to those people for external and for peaceful relationships, and he dealt with King Abdullah, yes, King Hussein's father, on a daily basis. So it's possible, but it will take someone agreeing to say that we as Jews have a right to live in the country that God gave us once.
Well, I think if God said it, maybe we all should listen to that, including the Nation of Islam. Thanks for joining us.